Peshtigo is a city in Wisconsin in the United States. It's about 45 miles northeast of Green Bay on the Peshtigo River and was founded in 1838. With only 3,500 or so residents, Peshtigo is a quiet place, and if you were passing through, you would have no clue that their sleepy city was the origin of the deadliest fire in United States history. The year was 1871, and small controlled fires were frequently used to clear forest land for farming and railroad development. That Sunday was supposed to be no different. The weather, however, had been unusual for that time of year. It was strangely warm for early October, and winds were high. Rainfall during the preceding months totaled just 1/4 of average precipitation, causing the conditions to become dry, but nothing the railroad hadn't dealt with in the past. The railroad workers had lit a few small fires several days before, and things were going to plan until seemingly out of nowhere, a cold front swept in from the west, bringing with it strong winds that fanned the fires out of control, creating an unstoppable firestorm which moved at a tremendous speed. Survivors who witnessed the fire stated it was fast, just like a tornado. The residents of Peshtigo had grown accustomed to the smell of ash, and saw nothing unusual as they went to bed on the night of the fire. 1 hour after the fire had started, Peshtigo had been burned to the ground, with only 2 of their buildings left standing, killing 800 of its residents. The fire, however, did not stop there. It went on to burn down 16 other towns in the surrounding areas, scorching over 1.2 million acres of forest. The fire spread over the Peshtigo River, destroying both sides of the town. Terrified residents submerged themselves in the water to escape the flames, which sadly resulted in cases of hypothermia and drowning. At one point, it was estimated the fiery winds were travelling at 110 miles per hour. A total of 1,152 people were confirmed deceased, with another 350 suspected dead. Because all the local records were lost in the fire, a precise death toll has never been established. A further 1,500 people were badly hurt, and at least 3,000 people were left homeless, with the damage estimate sitting around $169 million. Bodies were burned in mass graves, as many of them were completely unidentifiable due to the fire. By the next morning, the fire had died down in Peshtigo. Many of the survivors were seriously burned, some were blinded by the smoke, and all were coughing from inhaling the hot air. Many of the survivors walked about, looking for family and loved ones who had gone missing. Animals, both wild and domestic, were another major victim of the fire. Many forest animals, as well as fish, perished. Birds were spotted attempting to flee, but they were either burnt mid-flight or died due to the smoke. They were left homeless and hungry. Fortunately, later that afternoon, food arrived from the town over, and the injured were treated at hotels, people's homes, and hospitals. Word did not get out immediately due to the telegraph lines being destroyed. It took 2 days for the news to reach the governor's office, who then sent supplies to help the survivors. A survivor recalled, "My chest was oppressed to suffocation, my throat was swollen, in addition to almost total inability to move, I could barely use my voice to utter a word. Almost lifeless, I stretched myself out full length on the sand. The latter was still hot, and the warmth in some degree restored me. Removing my shoes and socks, I placed my feet in immediate contact with the heated ground and felt additionally relieved. My eyes were now beginning to cause me the most acute pain. With all those who had not covered theirs during the long storm of the fire, through which we had passed, I was now perfectly blind." Sadly, even though it was the deadliest fire in US history, obliterating everything in its path, it has sadly been largely forgotten about due to the Great Chicago Fire, which started on the same day. Since 1883, speculation has suggested that the start of the Peshtigo and Chicago fires on the same day was not a coincidence, but this has never been proven. Today, Peshtigo has been rebuilt, and west of Highway 41 is the Peshtigo Fire Museum, which features a small collection of fire artifacts, first-hand testimonies, and a memorial to the victims who died in the fire.